أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهديه الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله وصفيه من خلقه وخليله الذي بلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح للأمة وجاهد في الله حق جهاده حتى أتاه اليقين من ربه فصلى الله وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله وصحبه ومن سار على نهجه واقتفى أثره إلى يوم الدين ثم أما بعد إخواني أوصيكم ونفسي بتقوى الله عز وجل. All praise be to Allah, the King of the world, the most gracious and the most merciful, the one whom we bear witness that there is no true God except Him alone subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is His slave and final messenger. Dear brothers and sisters, I advise you and myself to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to establish that shield between you and the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that is taqwa. Dear brothers and sisters, we are in a blessed month that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala specified and chose from among the other months to be the month of fasting, to be the month of this pillar of Islam, the pillar of fasting. And if you think about it, many people did not have the chance to fast with us this Ramadan. Many people died the very first day before Ramadan. And many people also died during those past 10 days. So it's a great blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He made it to this day and inshallah until the end of Ramadan. And if you think about it more, many people will live through Ramadan and not being able to do the fasting of Ramadan, either because they're unable to do it, or disabled, or sick, or some people also might fast and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reject their fast because they don't have the correct intention. So it's a great, great blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He made us know and study what He wants from us in this blessed month so that we can get our deeds accepted, inshallah. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentioned, إذا كان أول ليلة من رمضان فتحت أبواب الجنة. On the very first day of Ramadan, the doors of Jannah will be open and the doors of Jahannam will be closed. وصفدت الشياطين, and the shayateen will be locked up, will be chained. قال وينادي مناد يا باغي الخير أقبل ويا باغي الشر أقصر. And a caller from heavens will call, "Oh, you who wants the good, come and get it. And oh, you who doesn't want the good, leave." أقصر وَلِلَّهِ عُتَقَاءٌ مِنَ النَّارِ وَذَلِكَ كُلَّ لَيْلَةٍ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will free people from Jahannam every day of Ramadan, every night of the 29 or 30 nights of Ramadan. So this is the point that we mentioned. Some people might pass through Ramadan and not be chosen from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be among those people whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala frees from Jahannam. So the man of intellect and the person of wise mind is the person who will dedicate himself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this month and ask Him sincerely to be among the ones whom He chooses subhanahu wa ta'ala to be freed from hellfire. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the hadith Qudsi, قال كل ابن آدم كل عمل ابن آدم له. Every deed that Ibn Adam performs is for him. إلا الصيام فإنه لي وأنا أجزي به. Except Siyam, except fasting, it is for me and I give the reward for it. يدع طعامه وشهوته من أجلي. He leaves his desires and his food and his drink for my sake. للصائم فرحتان يفرحهما. The fasting person has two happinesses, two times in which he will be happy. The first is when he breaks his fast, and the second is when he meets his Lord. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala further mentions, وَلَخَلُوفُ فَمِ الصَّائِمِ أَطْيَبُ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ مِنْ رِيحِ الْمِسْكِ. The bad smell that comes out of the mouth of the fasting person because of the lack of food is more beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala than the smell of musk. Also the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentions about a door in Al-Jannah. The Jannah has 8 doors. One of them is called Al-Rayyan. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, إِنَّ فِي الْجَنَّةِ بَابًا يُقَالُ لَهُ الرَّيَّانِ. There is in the Jannah one door that is called Al-Rayyan. In the day of judgment, the angels will be calling, أَيْنَ الصَّائِمُونَ أَيْنَ الصَّائِمُونَ. Where are those people who used to fast? They will enter through the door of Al-Rayyan. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be among those. So, knowing the importance of Ramadan, we should know the teachings of the Prophet ﷺ during this month and what he used to do during the month, because we know for sure that what the Prophet ﷺ used to do is the best thing to do, and following his guidance is the best guidance. So we have a couple of points here that we can conclude out of looking at the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. The number one thing is fasting. Of course, because Ramadan is the month of fasting. And fasting, by definition, is to refrain and to abstain from the muftirat, from the things that break fasting and nullify fasting, from dawn to sunset. And the things that nullify fasting sexual intercourse, vomiting intentionally, and a period, menstruation period for women. One more rule here is that the person who commits those things that nullify fasting has to be knowledgeable. So if someone does it out of ignorance, there's no problem on him or her. And he has to, if he does it out of forgetfulness, then there's nothing on him or her. And he has to have the willingness to do it. So if someone forces another person to eat and drink during the day of Ramadan, then there's nothing on him as well. This is one thing. The other thing is that the fasting person should also have the manners of Siyam, the manners of Islam. It is not only about these desires that we have to refrain from, those physical desires, if we could call them, the food and drink and sexual intercourse. It is also a further step into the manners that the Prophet ﷺ taught us to be. The Prophet ﷺ said, إِذَا أَصْبَحَ أَحَدُكُمْ صَائِمًا فَلَا يَرْفُثْ وَلَا يَجْهَلْ. If one of you is fasting, then he should not yajhal, he should not have bad manners towards any other person. فَإِنْ امْرُؤٌ شَاتَمَهُ. Look at this. فَإِنْ امْرُؤٌ شَاتَمَهُ أَوْ قَاتَلَهُ. And if another person comes to you and he curses you and he fights with you, then should you fight back? No, the Prophet ﷺ said, فَلْيَقُلْ إِنِّي صَائِمٌ. Then he should let him say, I am fasting, I cannot return back the cursing and return back the fighting for you because I am fasting from this. I am fasting from the bad manners. Also the Prophet ﷺ said, مَنْ لَمْ يَدَعْ قَوْلَ الزُّورِ وَالْعَمَلَ بِهِ فَلَيْسَ لِلَّهِ حَاجَةٌ أَنْ يَدَعَ طَعَامَهُ وَشَرَابَهُ. The person who does not leave bad talking, who does not leave backbiting, who does not leave lying, and who does not leave witnessing a lie, testimony, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has no need for him to leave his food and drink. It is a whole equation that you have to fulfill. You cannot take parts of it and leave parts away. This is the number one thing, and that is Siyam. The second thing is the Taraweeh and Qiyam, praying of the night. And praying the Taraweeh is a sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. The Prophet ﷺ prayed with his companions 3 days of Ramadan. And on the third day, the masjid of the Prophet ﷺ was packed. So the Prophet ﷺ then, on the fourth day, did not appear at the masjid. And the companions were waiting for him. And he said, خَشِيتُ أَن تُفْرَض. He said, I did not want to pray constantly during every day of Ramadan, so that the people might think that it is fard. People might think that it is an obligatory act of worship during the month of Ramadan. That is why the Prophet ﷺ left it. But during the Khilafah of Umar ibn Khattab, until the Khilafah of Umar ibn Khattab, people used to pray Taraweeh in Ramadan. But they used to pray Awza'an separately. Each group would pray with itself. So you might enter the masjid and see a group there praying Taraweeh, another group there praying Taraweeh, and you might go by yourself and pray Taraweeh. But in the Khilafah of Umar ibn Khattab, radiallahu ta'ala, he remembered that the Prophet ﷺ prayed 3 days of Ramadan, Taraweeh, behind one Imam, behind the Prophet ﷺ. So he gathered all the people in the masjid behind one Imam. And he said, this is a good thing, because he brought back one of the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ to life. So it is a sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ that we should not leave. The Prophet ﷺ also mentioned, "Man qama ma'a imamihi hatta yansarif kutiba lahu qiyamu laylan." He said, the one who prays with his imam until the imam finishes the salah, then it is as if he prayed the entire night. So it is very important that when you pray qiyam or tarawih, that you stay with your imam until the imam finishes the salah. Also, in the last 10 days of Ramadan, there is one special night. And that night is called Laylatul Qadr. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has dedicated an entire surah of His book to be for this night. Subhanallah. And He mentioned in this surah that Laylatul Qadri khayrun min alfi shahr. The night, one night of Al-Qadr is better than 1,000 months. And if you calculate it, it's about 84 years. So think about it. If you pray and worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala during this night, it's as if you've been praying for 84 years. And some of us might not live this long. Also, the Prophet ﷺ mentioned about this night, "Man qama imanan wa ihtisaban ghufira lahu ma taqaddama min dhanbihi." Whoever prays of the night of Laylatul Qadr with belief and sincerity, and with realizing the intention behind the act of worship that he's doing, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will erase all his sins. This is the number 3 thing. This is the number 2 thing, and that is tarawih wa qiyam. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه غفور رحيم. الحمد لله وحده والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده وبعد. إخواني أوصيكم ونفسي بتقوى الله عز وجل. The third thing and the last is reading the Quran. Jibreel alayhi salam, the angel Gabriel, he used to come to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam every Ramadan and study the Quran with him and review the Quran with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Until it was the last year of the life of the Prophet ﷺ, he came and he reviewed the Quran twice with the Prophet ﷺ. And Ramadan is the month in which the Quran was revealed. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. Ramadan is the month in which the Quran was revealed. And the ulama of as-salaf, like Imam Thawri, wa Malik, wa Qatada, wa Ibrahim al-Nakha'i, all those ulama, they used to, when Ramadan used to come, they used to leave everything else. They used to leave the fiqh, they used to leave the seerah, and dedicate all their time reading the Quran, the kitab of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in Ramadan, there are 2 intercessions that could that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could bless you with. The Prophet ﷺ said, "As-siyam wal-Qur'an yashfa'ani lil-'abdi yawm al-qiyamah." Fasting and Qur'an intercede for the slave in the day of judgment. The siyam would say, "Ay Rabbi, mana'tuhu at-ta'am fashaffi'ni fi." Oh my Lord, the siyam would say, "Oh my Lord, I stopped him from eating and drinking and from doing his sexual desires. So make me intercede for him." And the Quran would say, "Mana'tuhu al-nawma bil-layl fashaffi'ni fi." And the Quran would come in the day of judgment and would say to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, "Oh my Lord, I stopped him from sleeping at night and he was reading me. So make me intercede for this person." The Prophet ﷺ said, قَالَ فَيَشْفَعَانِ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept their intercession. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept our deeds. This khutbah is a review so that we remember if we have forgotten anything from the teachings of the Prophet ﷺ in Ramadan, and to have to tushhad al-himam, to energize ourselves to do the best of the deeds and to follow the steps of the Prophet ﷺ even more, and to dedicate ourselves towards worshipping of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the coming days of Ramadan. فاللهم إنا نسألك الإخلاص في القول والعمل. اللهم إنا نسألك الإخلاص في القول والعمل. اللهم إنا نسألك الإخلاص في القول والعمل. اللهم إنك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا. اللهم إنك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا. اللهم إنك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا. اللهم تقبل منا رمضان. اللهم واجعلنا من عتقائك من النار في رمضان. اللهم واجعلنا ممن يصوم رمضان إيمانا واحتسابا، واجعلنا ممن يقومه إيمانا واحتسابا، واجعلنا ممن يقوم ليلة القدر إيمانا واحتسابا. اللهم اعز الإسلام والمسلمين وأذل الشرك والمشركين ودمر أعداء الدين واحمي حوزة الإسلام واجمع كلمة المسلمين على الحق يا رب العالمين. وأقم الصلاة إن الصلاة تنهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر.